it's Mena. Welcome back to my channel, or if this is the very first video that you're seeing of me, then welcome to my channel. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. I post every day of the week for a while. And today, give me 1 second. I apologize. I had to do something. So today in this video, I'm going to talk about my top 10 most violent movies I've ever seen. So here are some pretty violent films that I've seen throughout the years, and they were pretty disturbing too. And by the way, also, I'm thinking about doing a top 10 movies I will never review video, and if you guys want that, let me know down in the comments below. So I'm going to get started. So I don't usually watch violent films, but these are some pretty violent movies that I have seen throughout the years and stuff. So I'm going to get started and talk about all the violent films I've seen, and I'm going to get started. And just so you guys know, I'm not saying these are terrible movies. I'm just saying these films are just extremely violent. And if you don't like violence, then don't watch them. And now I hate it how I said I don't watch them, but it depends on your comfort zone and stuff. So I'm going to get started. So number 1 on my list would have to be The Godfather. Now, I'll bet a lot of you guys agree with me that The Godfather is a pretty violent film. I have seen this movie like once, and I kind of like regret it a little bit because it's a little bit too violent. There's like shooting, stabbing, and blah 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 blah, and a lot of blood, and it's pretty disgusting. Disgusting and scary. And I've seen violent films. Number 2 on my list would have to be Perfume, the Story of a Murderer. Now, I've mentioned this in several of my videos and stuff, that this is a pretty violent movie. It's also not only violent, but it's also very disturbing, just because the scenery, it's just where it takes place. It's really gross, and it's just a lot of violence and a lot of disturbing images in this film. It's a very disturbing movie. I suggest, again, if you want to watch it, that's fine. I suggest just don't watch it if you're easily squeamish, because it is really gross. It is like probably one of the most disgusting films I have ever seen in my entire life. And this is super violent and stuff. It has a ton of violence in this film. Number 3 on my list would have to be Scarface, and this is a black and white film. I forgot what year it is. It's a black and white film. I had to watch this in film class as well, and it is also a pretty violent film because there's a lot of gang shooting and everything, and it's a very violent movie. And stuff. There's a lot of just shooting in that film. It's just extremely violent. Number 4 on my list had to be Enter the Dragon. Now, I have not seen this movie in years. This is a pretty violent film as well. Well, I was watching this with my dad and my brother one time. I had my dad's supervision and stuff, and it's a pretty old film. I think it's from like the 1960s or 70s. I can't remember what year this film was from. This is a pretty violent film. It's got a lot of martial arts violence, and then kind of like some scratching and a little bit of, not too much blood, to be fairly honest. 1 sec. I apologize. The sun is kind of going in and out of, my lighting was a little weird because the sun is going in and out of my room right now. So the lighting's probably going to be going, a little bit weird for quite a while, stuff throughout this film. So I apologize for that. So this was anyway, I'm talking about Enter the Dragon. I'm so sorry. See? Anyway, so, Enter the Dragon was a very violent film. Because there's a lot of martial arts violence. There's kind of like scraping because of the claw and stuff. I haven't seen this movie in so long. It's like a really old movie. I watched it, sorry, I had something in my eye. I watched it with my, dad and my, brother and stuff, and it's a pretty violent film. There's just a lot of violence and stuff, like martial arts violence. It's pretty interesting. It's kind of interesting, but at the same time, it's like a lot of violence. Number 5 on my list had to be Mortal Kombat. Actually, fun fact, when I was a kid, I called it Mortal Comeback. Because I couldn't say Mortal Kombat when I was a kid. So I have not seen this movie in so long. It's based off of a video game from like, I think the 80s or something. If you guys are familiar with the game Mortal Kombat, what era is it from? Let me know in the comments down below if I got that correct, because I have no idea what era that game is from. It's a pretty good film though. Even though I like the film, it's got a ton of martial arts violence. And it's like there's punching and kicking and this and that and stuff. Just a lot of martial arts violence and stuff. And even though it's a pretty good film, there's just a lot of martial arts violence in that film. Number 6 on my list had to be Boys in the Hood. Now, I had to watch this for film class as well, and this is also another violent film. There's a lot of shooting and gangs and stuff. This is a very violent film. And it's like what goes on, and it's like a lot of robbing in the neighborhood, and it's not a very safe neighborhood, and it's a very violent film just with all the shooting and the gangs and stuff. Number 7 on my list had to be Hound Dog. This also is a pretty disturbing and violent film because it involves a young girl getting tortured and stuff. Well, not tortured in kind of a disturbing way. I don't really want to say what kind of disturbing way. And it's got like a lot of like hitting and stuff, and a young girl just being tortured in a bad way. Not tortured like being hurt, but tortured like being, you know what, if you know what I mean. Number 8 on my list had to be The Birds. Now, this is another violent film. It was supposed to be a scary movie, but honestly, it's not really that scary in my opinion. It's like a pretty violent film because there's birds attacking people and then hurting them and then picking their eyes out, which is pretty violent for a I think 60s film. I think that film was made in the 60s. I'm probably wrong. If you guys know what era that film was made, please let me know down in the comments below, because I have no idea. Yeah, it's just really just violent, just with just birds pecking people and attacking them and stuff. It's just a pretty violent film. Number 9 on my list would have to be The Last of the Mohicans. I had to watch this in history class when I was a junior in high school, and this is a pretty violent film because it's like new settlers and people getting hurt and attacking the Newlanders and blah 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 and this and that. It's a very violent film, and there is a very disturbing scene which I'm not going to mention because I don't want anybody to get squeamish. Number 10 on my list would have to be The Thing. Now, this is a pretty violent and creepy film because it involves this creepy thing that attacks people and stuff like that. That it's like in the mountains and stuff in the snow, and it literally attacks people and it goes after people. It's a pretty creepy film. I watched this film when I was probably like, I think around 2 years old or something. I'm not too sure. My dad had it on at the time, and there's like a home video of me watching it at my house. There's like a home video of me watching it at my house, and it's a pretty creepy film. I haven't seen this movie in like years because there's a lot of violence in it, and there's like people getting attacked by this weird creepy monster, and it's like a very creepy, like, violent film, and the thing tries to attack everybody. It's a very scary movie. Okay, so those are my top 10 most violent films I've ever seen. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post every day of the week for a while, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!